Hey guys, welcome to my channel and today I'm recording Cambridge O level 5070 paper 2. This is chemistry paper. I'm recording May June 2021. I've already uploaded its 4 parts previously, which you can check out in the playlist link down below in the description box. I have put the link. So without any further ado, let's get started with this video, and today we are going to record the last question, that is question number 9 of section B. I've already solved the entire paper before, so make sure you go through it through the playlist in the link description below. Moving on to question number 9. The structure of ethyl propanoate is shown. Part A says circle the atoms in the structure that show the ethyl propanoate is an ester. Alright, so we need to circle that part that tells us that this is an ester. We see every kind of element. For example, if we have carboxylic acid, we see C double bond OH. So we can identify that this is carboxylic acid, or if you're talking about alcohol, we see OH with it. So we know that this is an alcohol. Likewise, for ester, we have C double bond O, this part, which tells us that this is an ester. Moving on to part B. Aqueous bromine is shaken with a sample of ethyl propanoate. Explain in terms of structure of ethyl propanoate why aqueous bromine turns colorless. Aqueous bromine turns colorless because its main reason is that it reacts with carbon-carbon double bond, and that is why it turns colorless. Moving on to part C, ethyl propanoate is prepared by the reversible reaction between a carboxylic acid and an alcohol as shown. Part 1 says name the alcohol used in this reaction. So we have a mixture of carboxylic acid and alcohol is allowed to reach the equilibrium. This is the whole scenario of the question. Now name the alcohol used in this reaction. The alcohol, as we can see over here, we only have one alcohol. This is the reaction part. Alright, from it we need to identify the alcohol. So this is the alcohol because it has OH with it. And what is the name of this alcohol? Because it has double C bond, so it's going to be ethanol. Alright, because the one that has two carbons in it is an ethanol. So here you're supposed to write ethanol. Moving on to part 2, the reaction uses an acid catalyst. State the effect of this catalyst on the position of the equilibrium. Because we have a catalyst in it, catalyst only speeds up the reaction, it does not have any effect. So over here you're going to write it will not have any kind of effect. Moving on, it will not have any kind of effect on the position of equilibrium, it is just going to speed it up. Alright, so you can just write in one sentence that it will have no effect. Moving on to part 3, the concentration of alcohol is increased. Describe and explain what happens to the position of equilibrium. So the position of equilibrium, if we increase the concentration of the alcohol, that is, we increase this concentration, that means it will move towards the right side, and that means more alcohol, since we are increasing the concentration of the reactant side, so its product side will increase more, like it is going to, the equilibrium is going to shift on that side. Alright, so this is what you're going to explain over here. Part D says in an experiment 10.8 gram of carboxylic acid is reacted with an excess of alcohol. The experimental yield of ethyl propanoate is 9.45 grams. The relative formula of the carboxylic acid is 72. Part 1 says show the maximum possible yield of ethyl propanoate is 15 grams. Okay, so first of all, part D. The scenario of part D is that basically we have an experiment between carboxylic acid and alcohol. Alcohol is in excess and carboxylic acid is limiting over here, that is 10.8 grams, which is given to us. Now here we are talking about the experimental yield. That means this experiment has been performed somewhere and they are telling us the yield produced. However, the experimental yield and the possible yield is way different. The calculated yield is way different. It has a difference in it. Calculated yield is always greater than experimental yield. Why? Because experimental yield has, when we're of course performing the reaction, there is going to be so much losses in the environment. Different factors are going to affect the reaction, due to which there are some kind of differences that are being created over here. So over here we're supposed to find the maximum possible yield. That means we're going to find out that if we calculate and if we have ideal situation, what is the yield? So actually the yield over here is already given to us 15 grams, and we need to show that how we will get this yield, how to achieve it. So what did I do over here is I took 10.8 grams of carboxylic acid and divided it with its relative molecular formula mass so that I can find the moles. So basically this is the moles of it. And then to show the moles of ethyl propanoate, what did I do is multiply. I found out the formula mass of ethyl propanoate and then I multiplied it with it to find the mass, because mass is equals to moles into molecular mass. So molecular mass of ethyl propanoate was 100, and once I multiplied 0.15 with 100, it became 15 grams. Alright, so that is how I have done this question, and we have got the answer, that is 15 grams. Moving on to part 2, calculate the percentage yield of ethyl propanoate in this experiment. So we had 9.45 grams, which is, so the formula for it is basically experimental value upon the calculated value into 100, and we'll get the percentage yield. So over here we have 9.45 gram as our experimental value and experimental mass, and calculated one is already given to us in the question, that is 15 grams, and also we have calculated it over here, and then we're going to multiply it by 100, and after the answer is 63%. Alright, I've already solved this question beforehand because it takes really a very long time in calculating it, setting up things and all. So for it, I've already solved it for you beforehand, so I can explain it to you more properly. Alright, so that is it for this video, and not only for this video but for this paper, May June 2021 complete playlist. You will find it in the description box down below. Make sure to check it out. Also, since exams are approaching and they're just around the corner, I'm going to make October-November 2021 paper. Now about October-November 2021 paper, since time is very short, I'm going to be doing it really fast. That means I'm going to be uploading one or more than one video daily. So make sure to subscribe the channel, and very important point is to ring the bell icon, so as soon as I upload October-November 2021 paper, you can get alert with it, you can know about it, and you can take advantage of it as soon as possible. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. In case you have any query, any confusion, make sure to drop it in the comment box down below. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and best of luck for your exams.